Welcome to the July 11th Board of Health meeting. We have no hearings or appointments scheduled today, so we move into our action items. We have invoices from Crystal Rock and Happy Frog and Jean Marie's Mile reimbursement. Has everybody reviewed those?
Yep.
Okay, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The approved minutes for June 27th meeting, has everybody had an opportunity to review?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Disposal work permits, we have 125 Bridge Street, 35 Hereford Lane, 68 Elm Street, 149 Walnut Street was a repair. Anything significant on those, Jean Marie?
They're all repairs.
Okay. Make a motion to approve disposal work permits.
Didn't you have one in the pile that was? I didn't print all the permits, but was there one in the pile that was like a Percy or a modified? And there was also.
Oh, Presby.
I'm sorry, and then there was another that was less than 4 feet.
Yeah, now when I do it, I put those variances right at the top for you, so you can see them.
But you're saying that all of these are repairs, though?
Yes, they are. I didn't say they were all.
Okay, so we're not approving any of the ones that,
Those are repairs.
Some of them need variances.
so all the ones that came over on email
Yep.
were repairs?
Yep. I have no new construction, I don't think. I didn't see any.
I think the confusion is a repair just means there was an existing system.
Right.
Construction means there's not been a system there before.
So what are you asking, Rob? Do some of them need variances?
Okay, give me 1 second here, let me just,
Hmm?
They're right there, right?
Nope, I emailed them to them.
okay, all right. So there's
plans are
also
here.
68 Elm Street. We also had a 68 Folsom Street, which I got a question on a little bit later on, but okay, all right, so all three, all the ones that you sent over on email, they were all repairs?
Yes.
Okay.
So motion to approve the 4 disposal work permits on the agenda.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Body art practitioners, there are 2 for Sacred Heart Edition, all this stuff.
We're gonna remove, one of the applications, they never submitted one of their documents, so I have to take them off, and that is Rodrigo Aparicio. He needs to prove he's been licensed and has experience previously, and he's not provided that yet, so he's gonna have to be removed.
All right, so we will addend the body art practitioners for approval, just Eduardo Hinojoso, for Sacred Heart Edition. I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Installer's license, just the 2 renewals, Kruger and Down to Earth Construction.
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the 2 installer's license.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, health agent updates.
Okay, your little thing is here, we have 2 site assessments in the last 2 weeks for 2 repairs. Now we're considered moderate drought, you probably see the no irrigation wells and watch your sprinklers. FYI, 99 Whitman Street is for sale, it was originally approved and repaired in 2007, had a deed restriction due to a sieve analysis and a groundwater. And our town has it listed as a 12-bedroom. It's actually deed restricted to an 8. So just to let you know that one's got a little bit of conflict to it. It went to the Board of Appeals for a 4-unit because they took the gift shop and made it a apartment. It can still be a 4-unit, but it's got to have 2 bedrooms apiece instead of 3. So we'll be watching that one.
So what's the plan there? I mean, it says it's listed as a 12-bedroom general. What this system was approved for?
It's a monster system. It's 75 feet by 30, which is huge. Couldn't get a sieve, had to do a sieve analysis, so it didn't get a perk test. either side of it's 58 minutes an inch, so that's why it's so big. And it was originally a 3-bedroom, 3-unit. So one of the bedrooms is too small, so it became an 8-bedroom unit. They took the gift shop, they turned it into a 3-bedroom unit. So that's why they were looking for a 12-bedroom. Went to Board of Appeals. Board of
Okay.
Appeals denied it, it went to court.
Okay, so I know that, all right, but that was the, all right, so the assessor's listed as a 12-bedroom.
Right,
That's fine. But what's the system, what was it built for?
8-bedroom.
So where does it fall on us? It's up for sale, so would you be reviewing it? Or is this an old assessor's assessment?
I reviewed it, the assessors will change it to a 8-bedroom.
So they'll change it.
To them, it makes no difference money-wise, whether it's a 12-bedroom or an 8-bedroom. It's usually like over 6, there's different grades, but, so to them, it doesn't make that much difference.
So then it is rectified?
Yep.
Okay.
But just to let you know, there was some controversy with it.
So
Repairs,
Have you had conversations with the assessor's office? I mean, there's communication saying this will, or it should, or it has?
yep. In fact, the person who's buying it came in today with her lawyer. And I talked to them and laid out that even though it says that, it's still deed restricted to 8 bedrooms. And this is the reason why. And that's where it has to stay. So she can make it 4 units, which the court allowed, but they have to be 2 bedrooms apiece. So we discussed, the option of taking some doors off, making them playrooms, making them.
So it will
Lots of
remain
cars.
deed restricted as an 8-bedroom dwelling?
Mhm.
Okay. So it's an 8-bedroom on the deeds, the assessors have it to 12, they're gonna bring it back to 8. Gotcha.
Right. Right. Repairs, we just went through those. New construction, I have 2 areas that are called 0 East Street. 1 East Street is off of Brockton, and I think it's an 8-lot subdivision or a 6, we're not really, 8 or 6-lot subdivision, all the land's in East Bridgewater, so you have to go into Brockton off of East Street and then come through. It was the old Knights of Columbus Hall over there. Why is this important? It's on the other side of the Republica landfill. By that I mean within 1,200 feet of it. They don't have water, they want private wells. Yeah, I know, that's what I said. But because Brockton's not gonna give them water. So they want private wells, so that would be up to them to prove that I have to do a little bit more research, but, that we can have wells over there. They're within 1,000 feet of the landfill,
Yeah.
and they're within 2,000 feet of Brockton's landfill. So that's 2 big landfills, kind of, on the north and west side of it.
So the water, geographically, they would connect to Brockton's water and not to East Bridgewater's water, even though it's in East Bridgewater?
There's no way, we don't have any water over
Going
there,
out that way.
not at all.
But these, even though they're listed as 0 East Street, these are 2 separate, at least this point geographically located
Oh, the other,
pieces of property.
the other 0 East Street is off of East Street in East Bridgewater on the Bridgewater line.
So we're
is it
talking 2
diff-
separate.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to let you know that we have two separate areas that,
So is there any way to designate one as A or B, or, I mean, I don't know, we've got,
I'm just gonna say East Street Brockton or East Street
okay, fair enough.
that way, So that's, the
Okay, so
private water wells will be kind of a question for me.
just real quick, so the East Street near Bridgewater, that property is not at issue right now?
No,
Okay, so now we have the other, which is this 9-lot subdivision. And that's
It's gonna be
the
Knights
property
Estates.
of
It
the
has a
subdivision.
name, it's Knights Estates, it's gonna be a subdivision, so
right, it has a name
it'll
now.
have road names.
Right. The time I was doing this, it didn't,
So
And
we're
then-
just, sorry, Rob, we're
No, go
just
ahead.
listing the 2 under new construction, but they're not affiliated with each other in any way?
no.
Okay.
But if you tried to research them, you might get stuck up in that same,
So, and then it's the Brockton, obviously, that wants The applicant is proposing all private drinking wells, site septic, so you're in the process of assessing the area. So again, we're talking about Brockton, right? Zero
Right.
East Street,
Knights
Brockton.
Straight, K-N-I-G-H-T.
So did you list Bridgewater on here just to let us know that there were two separate
Yes.
East Streets? Okay.
Yeah.
So we can technically, just one more question. Is there any activity at 0 East Street, Bridgewater? So we can just kind of draw a line on that and then keep an eye on it
Right.
somewhere down the line. Okay,
Right.
all right. Okay,
4 systems under construction. 41 North Bedford Street is still under construction. 4 Daisy Lane, 5 Daisy Lane are started and finished. 2026 Plymouth Street, all the tanks in the pump chamber are done. We're just doing final grade. 766 Summer Street's are residential, and 244 Laurel Street are just about finished.
so 2026 Plymouth Street, that's way up by the Halifax?
Yep,
Okay.
he did a nice job out there.
And 41 North Bedford, I know we discussed that before, that's the one that's been going on. So is there an allotted time frame that they legally have from start to finish?
Title V says in a reasonable amount of time.
So it's not really described.
No, but this is a tenement house. It's got 3-4 units in there. And under housing code, it would be 30 days. So that's why I was trying to get him to move it a little bit. We've been at it since April 6th. That's kind of a long time for a domestic septic system.
Well, I'm just trying to clarify what our options are, where, you know, you're visiting this site, you were out there 6 times this month, it's not really conducive to your time to keep going back. I mean, do we issue them a letter with a time frame? Is that a legitimate thing we can issue? Is it very gray as far as,
You can do that, but that's what the bylaw, the ticketing bylaw process was for. But to do that, we'd have to establish a time. I did issue one, and I didn't really cite him or order him. I said, please be advised that under housing code, the system should be in within 30 days. I didn't say you're in violation or anything. I just said, you know.
so when you say issuing a time, so there technically is no timeline?
No, it says reasonable amount of time. For something like 2026 Plymouth Street, which is new construction, it's condo units for what have you, that could take up to 2 years to do and be fine. The problem, or the concern I have is when you leave something open that long, the sides fall in, junk gets in it, the tank slides sideways, the piping is no longer level, those kind of things happen.
So even though Title V gives a reasonable time frame,
It's not.
wouldn't that,
spelled out.
but would the pit also be considered a confined space?
Yeah.
And there's certain, parameters that they have to maintain?
The tank would be a confined space. Some pits could be a confined space, but this one's 30 by 40, so I'm not sure. It's big enough not to be. It's the size of this room, roughly. Maybe a little smaller, but, so that may not be a confined space because it's open, the whole top is open.
So how long is Laurel Street, how long has this been?
41 North Bedford, since April 6th.
So, I mean, I don't know, at this point, I think maybe then it's prudent to issue them a letter stating that, you know, this has been going on since April 6th, and give them a definitive timeline, rather than have you keep going out back and forth multiple times. It just doesn't seem prudent.
It's the way it goes with this person. I don't usually have that problem with people. They want to get in, get out, and move on, basically. But I will do that. Yeah. So you think 30 days?
I'm fine with 30 days, as long as, I mean, where it's saying reasonable amount of time, I mean, everyone's interpretation of reasonable can vary.
But we're going on 5 months now.
Yeah.
And it's very close to the river, I mean, to the pond, like 20 feet from it.
And then what are they using, a holding tank?
No, they have they're using the tank as a holding tank and pumping it. Of course, he's pumping it. So, you know, he has to pump it probably every 7 to 10 days. probably $800
30
plus
days?
with,
I'm fine with 30 days. I think there's some other areas other than reasonable time frame. If we do a deep dive into this, so we can maybe move the needle, look to some other areas otherwise we'll be just kicking this down the road forever and a day.
yeah. So, okay.
So sure, 30 days is fine. I would say go ahead and send them a letter and then just see if we can't get some.
In it, I'll
Correspondence.
put the ticketing in there and say, please be advised that the Board of Health can fine you, under the ticketing system. You do not comply.
Yeah, you can
And
reference
that way
it.
it sort
Yeah.
of gives you
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
little,
Wouldn't
It's
be
not an issue of
specific.
fine just yet, but certainly put the fear of
yeah, that's basically it.
a buck or two out there.
Okay. Food inspections, going along, doing their thing. Quite a few are closed for vacation right now, so been trying to catch some of them. I'm focusing on screen doors, ripped ones, torn ones, not working well ones, and when you should have them closed. It's bug season, so that kind of comes up. Housing inspections, 558 West Street is.
So I'm sorry, Jean Marie, just going back to Dunkin' Donuts, I know at our last meeting, we talked about, the issue might be coming from the commissary. I guess maybe what's their take on it, because we haven't, they kind of pull from all the same commissary, and yet nobody else is having that type of, at least that I'm hearing.
Because I think that the other Dunkin' Donuts checks the stock before it comes in the door.
So I've spoken to the owner of the commissary,
The commissary or the,
the one that's running it.
okay,
It's Linda.
Yep. Mr.
And
Rodriguez?
they have not had any issues in-house there prior to distribution. So they feel that it's just a location issue. I think since last we talked, the owner has fired everybody again. So,
Retraining.
there was a few managers and staff members that were let go. So I think it's still an open issue. I think we put a Band-Aid on it, and it's something,
Yep. Like a
Unless those individuals that are no longer there, unless they were doing something to exasperate the problem.
no, but I think
I'm
it's
just
a
trying-
matter of, it's supposed to come in wrapped, they're supposed to do X, Y, and Z, not leave it in certain areas, so it was kind of like, it went through there. I think that was a whole separate issue, it was a customer service thing, but then it turned into that they weren't doing the proper cleanup at the end of the shift, this, that, and the
Okay,
other thing.
all right, so it's just.
So
a-
it's a possibility.
Okay, to be continued. It's not happening right now, so fine with me. Last one's housing inspections, 558 West Street and 1357 Washington. I was out at 1357 at 4 o'clock today. The landlord has complied, the tenant has not. We still have those 55-gallon drums of who knows what's out there.
I thought there was just one.
Yeah,
So it was one drum that he has to get rid of.
Yep.
And he agreed to get rid of it.
and he hasn't.
Then I would just issue him a letter with, he has 7 days to get rid of it, or we're gonna implement a fine. This has
Okay,
been going
so-
on for weeks.
Yep. So the landlord's good in my book. We're done with that.
And 558 West,
Both sides. The landlord says he can't get in there. I'm not sure he tries so hard. The basic thing I want him to do right now is just caulk the tub and make the floor so the water's not going down into the cellar. The house is ancient, but you can caulk a tub, make it so it doesn't drain, you know. It's dripping all over the place.
so the tenant is home.
Yep.
And if the water's leaking through the floor into the basement, is there a possibility that the floor, the subfloor below the tub is unsafe? Like, is it an old clawfoot tub that can fall through?
No, no, it's not a clawfoot, but this house is over 100+ years old. And the floor in the bathroom is kind of wonky. But he needs to put a piece of linoleum, by that I mean it's 4 by 6, it's not, we're not talking a kitchen size, we're talking a little.
All right, define wonky. Wonky meaning not aesthetically pleasing, or wonky meaning the
Pieces
wood
of
is
tile
rotted?
missing,
Okay.
and the water comes out of the tub, like, right at the side of the tub, and that's starting to rot. So that's why I wanted to get it sooner rather than later. One of the other issues is they put on the sun porch in the back. They closed up the kitchen window, so we don't have the air and light space thing. But what he wants to do is, he's gonna remodel the kitchen, so he'll take that little entrance, and make it bigger, so then the light and air comes through the slider successfully, basically. But getting him to do things can be a little bit tough. I'm trying to get him to do things. So I just really narrow it down, try to keep him focused on it, and get it moving.
So what are the key points that we're looking for him to complete? The tub, and then
Caulking the
eventually-
tub, and caulking right where the tub and the floor meet. And then he's gotta do the kitchen, because he boarded up the windows in the kitchen, so it's too dark, and there's not any air and ventilation in there. But if he opens the doorway a little bit, the slider can be opened and the air can come in directly from the slider.
Is that something that he has pursued permits and whatnot to go forward, or is that just an
Nope.
idea he has down?
It's an idea he
I have
has.
a lot of ideas for my house.
I know. He says, he sent me an email. He says, sorry for the delay. I'm following up on our site visit. He went with me. I'll adjusting the items we discussed, spindles, plaster, and caulking. And the kitchen, I bought the house years ago, and the kitchen was already in place. I'm gonna remodel the kitchen and bring everything up to current codes. My plan is to have it finished no later than September 30th. Pushing it's still gonna take that long, you know what I mean? So, we just keep pushing on this person, so. That's where I am with him.
Okey-doke. Any other topics? Rob?
Yeah, just a couple of follow-ups. Online permitting,
Nothing's changed yet.
was that?
Nothing, no
Nothing's
update.
up, no.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
still,
Still in the
rolling
process.
out, or,
We're teaming up with the selectmen, and somebody had a death in their family in that office, so we're waiting for her to get back, yeah.
okay, all right. Just steady as she goes there.
Yep.
Bridgewater, Bridge Street landfill, that'll be a fall issue. Jean Marie, we had two cesspool issues, or a cesspool issue and a system that had not been used for a year.
Right.
So where are we with those two?
One's 179 Whitman Street.
Okay, which is which?
That's the vacant for over a year.
Excuse me.
Basically, they're just gonna have to do a new Title V once it get occupied, and we have something in there to test on.
Okay,
Or just repair it. I don't know which way they wanna go, but
so the inspection came up to us, how again? It is for sale?
it's for sale.
Okay, so it's for sale.
Been vacant
So
for
they
over
go to
a
do a
year.
Title V inspection. Title V inspection, it hasn't been used, we can't get evidence, or the inspector can't get evidence of, because it just hasn't been used.
Right.
So, pass, fail, conditional, what did we do?
I haven't got Title, I don't think we got the Title V inspection back from it yet.
Okay, so we're still waiting on the inspector to get back.
Right. I mean, our two options are we either, if it conditionally passes,
Yep,
it's 18 years old, it could pass. I would say occupy it for 6 months and then do another inspection. Or just go to the repair.
Is there a buyer?
I assume so, yeah.
okay, so that was one. The other one was, the
The family.
cesspool,
The family estate.
and there was family involved, and where are we with that?
I haven't heard a thing on it.
Which one are you talking about?
160 Walnut Street.
Okay, it's, what number, Walnut Street?
160?
160?
You'll see a couple of them with that address. It was a big piece of property. Had a couple of different lots, maybe. One was, I think the town has first refusal on it. Maybe it had conservation restrictions or conservation type thing to it. Or a farm, where the town gets first refusal on it.
But there was a question on how close they were to open water.
We don't know where water table is there.
Okay, so it's water table, not necessarily open water.
No,
So it
right.
can't, okay, so this undetermined water table, so they had a family member do it, then somebody who worked at a inspector's.
But was a family member. The two
Okay.
brothers.
Just for the record too, it's being sold within a family, parent to child, so technically they don't even have to do a Title V inspection.
Okay, so it is a transfer within family.
And one of the children is buying it from the parents.
All right, yeah, that does change.
I think, because I said you don't have to do it, but I think they were just doing it for them, for their own.
The third one
benefit.
was making them do it. Because of the dissension in the family.
So we're waiting on what on that one?
A third-party inspection, basically.
Is somebody actually performing it, or we're just waiting to see if they do it?
From our viewpoint, it doesn't need inspection.
I'm sorry, from our viewpoint?
From the Board of Health Title V viewpoint, it doesn't need an inspection. That whole
Because-
inspection
Because it's
requirement,
going from parent to child.
that whole inspection is being done by the parties involved.
Okay.
One brother wants it inspected, the other one is buying it.
Did you communicate to them that, recommending a third party? Did we send a letter out or talk to them in any way?
I said we couldn't accept what they gave us because of the conflict of interest.
Okay, and then was there any additional direction given? No. Okay, all right.
Well, there wouldn't need to be, right, because of the transfer.
Right, it's within an estate. It's an estate transfer.
So, how did it come to us anyway? If it is a transfer from,
One brother telling about the other one.
okay.
It's a hostile environment.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Can't get any muddier.
Mm-mm. They usually do.
Tom, you have anything? All right, Sue?
You got a question? Or are you just looking at me?
So I think initially, we assumed we may only need one meeting in July, but with this current update of Sue Malloy potentially seeking her retirement,
Not potentially, it's done.
it's done.
It's done.
We probably need to do a meeting, July 25th would be 2 weeks from today, and go into executive session to discuss office politics and,
Now, I have a schedule on Cadence for the 18th. Is my math off here?
I think that was our
You
original,
were originally,
every
we
other.
moved it to
And then we
today.
Yeah,
moved it to
right,
here,
in one
okay.
July.
Should we continue with the 18th on Cadence, and then we can also finalize the job descriptions and get them back to Charlie?
So they've already gone back
I've
to
already
that.
gone back.
I thought we had until the 22nd.
We did, but he didn't need us to review them. Initially, I thought it was for our posting of the positions, but it was for a study, so he gave both Jean Marie and Sue their responsibility list, and they wrote notes and gave it back to him directly.
I would just
It
say.
it doesn't affect our posting of the position, it's
Okay.
just a general, it was worded a little funny in the email.
Okay, but, all
Yeah,
right,
it was.
but,
So I have already spoken to Rebecca. So those haven't been accepted by the town yet. That's a study, so it's going back to the Collins Center. So that's not the job
Okay,
description per se.
okay.
So I would probably seek Rebecca's help, because all job postings go through Rebecca now. So I would, reach out to her. I've already talked to her today to let her know I was gonna direct you guys to talk to her about posting it. It's an association position, so it has to be posted in-house for a certain amount of days also.
Mhm.
So I would certainly not drag my feet, because, I did give the Plymouth County the date of July 29th. That's a firm date, so I would probably, get on it as soon as possible.
So is the 18th too soon?
I can do the 18th.
We're talking
Again,
July?
knowing that the 22nd's not a deadline for us anymore.
No.
So it's 6 one, half a dozen the other. If we think that
Okay, wait a
the
minute.
25th will give us enough time to pull some things together, or either that or we stick with the 18th.
I can't do the 25th.
Okay.
Okay.
I could, I think I could.
And then in the, if we're only meeting for executive session, do we need to
So that-
open a meeting?
Well, you'd have, so in order to meet for an executive session, you have to have, it has to meet the clear guidelines of what executive session is.
Let's
Yes.
get you, you do
I
have
do
this.
have that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So,
if we-
so yeah, so you wouldn't just meet in executive session, because executive session would just be to discuss an actual person or a
Right.
salary or something, not to discuss job descriptions and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, you would post it, then you would go into executive and come back,
Come
or
back
not,
out.
or not come back,
Yeah,
or,
I just wasn't sure if,
or whatever.
where it's televised, if people are just at home like,
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes it runs a
But
long,
it
a long
has
span.
happened, that, I think since, my short tenure here, we did have a meeting, opened it up, went to executive session, closed the executive session, came back, opened the meeting, closed the meeting.
Yeah, right after.
Right.
That's why I was just wondering if we could bypass that step.
I'm pretty sure that's the process, so.
No, you have to go with
All right,
that.
so 18th, everyone good with 5 PM?
Yep.
All right, anybody else have anything? Yes.
She has a lot of vacation. Are you planning to take people then? Just
It may
asking
take a
because-
day or two, but I,
Okay.
and under the contract, I'm entitled to payment for most of my time, so.
Okay.
But things as they are in the office, I may take a few days here and there to get me through to the 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty, so we will close the July 11th meeting for the Board of Health, and we will resume at our next meeting on July 18th at 5 PM. Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Approved.